Ladies and gentlemen of the old world, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be the Skaven led by Hobo Honkers facing off against the Wood Elves, who shall be helmed by Smoky Loco here on the Eastern Out Colony, and let's go ahead and break down these builds. So for the Skaven, front line is going to be Sacrificial Clan Rats. Makes sense, you know, throw some cheap targets into the Wood Elf Blender and live your best life. Now the Master Assassin, ooh, evil. So it looks like he's going to be getting brought bare bones. He does have the Weeping Blades and melee, so, you know, in a pinch, you know, Wood Elves known for their armor, of course. You can lower some armor, but that's really not why you bring him. He's just a persistent skirmisher that's going to be putting some decent damage down from downrange, who's dirt cheap as well. He does have some abilities, like Looming Dread, I think is one, but it looks like Hobo didn't bring them. He's going bare bones. Clan Rats, and it is going to be Plagueclaw Catapults, Ogres, and Sneaky Jezzails in the back. Natty Boobos are almost on auto-take in every matchup. They're so freaking good. In the woods, we have a sneaky Plague Priest. So Plague Priest and Rat Ogres going to be guarding the flank here. Looks like he's expecting some maybe Vanguard pressure right away since he has the Catapults. And the Plague Priest going to be doing old school, actually. Pestilent Breath is pretty damn good against Wood Elves. Magic damage, of course, doesn't have armor piercing, but Wood Elves aren't known for their armor. And he does have the Vermintide ability as well. All right, guys, let's get this party started and have some fun. So for the Wood Elf army, it's going to be a glorious archer stack. So he is using a campaign army. This is quite literally what you would have on like turn 8 of the campaign. You would have like a bunch of archers, a cheap lord, whatever, and you know, some glade riders just to chase down artillery and running units. That's like a Wood Elf campaign army build, yes. So Waystalker is going to be creeping up and using that Arrow of Kurnus here, and we do see the Catapult shoot again. And what kind of damage will we see? I'll find out today, guys. No damage so far. Looks like Smokey was able to dodge that. Alright, so objectives 1 and 2 are going to be going to the Wood Elves, and the Skaven are going to have to advance up into that arrow fire, but so too are the Wood Elves into the Plagueclaw Catapult fire. Do some fast forwarding here as the artillery gets close. Arrow of Kurnus is there, and it looks like he did kill one of the artillery models there. So one of them is going to be getting popped in the face, while the Spellweaver of Dark Magic is going to be using a Doombolt to snipe the artillery. Ooh, that's pretty brilliant if that's the case. Let's see. I'm curious how well it works. I assume it's just going to knock down one of the catapult pieces. So here comes the Doombolts, and it looks like it's kind of... Oh, nice micro there by Hobo Honkers. So he pulls the Skaven crew. This is a really good tactic when anybody's targeting your artillery with the intent of killing the artillery piece itself. You detach the crew and run, and then their missile, whether it be like a Luminarch or a cannon, is going to be shooting the running crew instead of the actual pieces. Really, really good micro. It's definitely a fun form of skill expression in this game. All right. So the Doombolt is back, and the Catapults are going to be shooting, but I think they're mostly not going to reach their target. Some they actually can just barely reach this Glade Guard, and those guys do get some stinky rat poison bombed on them, and are going to be losing a handful of models right there. What's really good about the Catapults is the -10 leadership. Granted, Wood Elves are super high leadership as is. Power of Darkness being used on the Spellweaver itself. It's a bold strategy. We'll see if it ends up mattering later in the game as the Assassin licks his lips in the bushes here. And Cav Charge going to be coming in, Glade Riders. And the Spears tried to reform ranks right before. The Skaven, very lore accurate. They panicked at the last second. The charge actually is now going to have some impact. However, on the backside, we do see 2 Jezzail units. One is regular and one is Warplock. Natty Boobos here. They're going to be doing some really good damage. So they got their sniper rifles, and that is going to be the fleeing of the Glade Riders. Yes, yes. So far, Wood Elves holding on to the point. The Waystalker Legolas here, Walmart Legolas, does have his own capture weight. So he does have 3 cap weight. So he will be able to outcap an injured Clan Rat, but there's a second Clan Rat there. So the Wood Elves, I like how cautiously he's playing, like trying to force this Skaven as far forward. And yeah, just use those archers to hammer those Clan Rats off the point, and then just retreat back and rinse and repeat, you know, and use your SEs to move up and capture. Catapults, though, tickling the pickle onto the Glade Guard back here, so a very, very prolonged skirmish phase here in this game, but it makes sense considering both builds. One's a defensive arty build with 2 Jezzail units, and the other one has like 15 archers, which is always funny. But it looks like Walmart Legolas able to hold the objective, and a couple units of Eternal Guard going to move up to try and provide cap weight. You definitely don't want to let the Skaven break parity here. You want to be the one forcing the Skaven forward, so moving up and getting this objective is quite nice. And Dryad's now going to be creeping into the trees as the Eternal Guard do get their prize. And those archers really should just be mowing down these Clan Rats. Yes, they do have shields, but at this point, you know, it's all about holding those objectives. Jezzail's going to be returning the favor. Skaven do have the superior long range to the Wood Elves for sure. Well, extra long range. And when it comes to mid-range and archery range, yeah, obviously the Wood Elves are going to be the best, well, probably the best archer faction of the game, honestly. I'm trying to think who has like better archer lines. Yeah, I think Wood Elves probably take the cake between their rank and file archers, their Deepwood Scouts, as well as the Way Watchers, which are just obscenely powerful. All right, Eternal Guard getting blasted by sniper rifles, classic, and the archers back here eating a little bit of firepower, but so far damage is not super serious for either side, although it does look like the Skaven are thinking about creeping over here. The Plague Priest does move up and summons a unit of Clan Rats, but wisely so. Smokey is just going to be kiting back and dragging these clan rats through the mud. So that is very, very good stuff there. Archer is going to be unleashing, probably helping that unit break a little bit quicker. And in the meantime, the Wood Elves still holding onto the point, and they are going to be approaching 500 points as the Jezzails and Catapults just, raining away. Although one of the Catapults, I think, got completely wiped out. Yeah. So between Doombolt and what appears to be Arrows of Kurnus, that artillery piece is 100% offline. All right, Archers back here are creeping, and we do see the Skaven summon going into the pits right there, but it looks like it might have actually incurred some friendly fire damage on those Glade Riders right there. A little bit hard to tell. But on the back, Plagueclaw Catapults ripping those shots, and we do see some Elven diving. All right, this is scary for Skaven. I don't know if they saw that coming through the bushes. Smokey going to be getting extra crunk here, and if he could just take down one Jezzail here, it might be worth it, but we'll see. It's looking a little bit rough for him right now. So the Glade Riders do close the distance, but good response here from Hobo. And this map is probably one of the best maps for defensive gun lines. It's just a lot of choke points. It's really not easy, but you can see they can only come from a couple angles. It's not like a big open field map where they have a lot of room to micro here, and he gets punished pretty bad. So those Glade Riders get annihilated, and unfortunately for him, he doesn't even shut down one unit. So Smokey did pay the troll toll a little bit there, and that was like the first moment in the game where we do see Hobo Honkers kind of pulling ahead on value. It was very close prior to that. Both sides had taken some damage, but that was the first time the suffering is in full effect. However, the Skaven are going to be the ones who have to Walter White. They're going to be the ones who have to knock here and move up on the door. So Dryad's getting ready to engage. Is he doing a full court press? I don't know. You honestly could probably, I do think maybe the Wood Elves could do a full court press here and push back the Skaven, especially considering they're indexed into so much range. Although maybe that window is now gone that he's been able to reinforce and get some proper units out. Hard to say. Jezzails shooting into Eternal Guard. Ammunition running, not low per se, but getting into the lower end of their pools. As we do see the Doombolt coming down to the Plague Priest. The mighty Plague Priest going to be scurrying into the bushes. Yes, yes. So there he goes. He's like, flee, yes, yes. Going to be trying to get into the old tree line there, and will he get in? The Doombolt comes down. It does boink him on the head and does a ton of damage. So Plague Priests are incredibly squishy with very low HP pools. So understandably so, that is going to be doing some big old fat damage. All right, guys, Clan Rats hanging in there. Plagueclaw Catapults are shooting away. So there they go. Yeah, not bad at all. And the Jezzails on the other side, have they run out of ammo yet? No, they have not. And the torrent of Skaven Warp Fire and Hailfire, whatever the hell you want to call it, is coming in and boinking the trees on the heads. But the Wood Elves are enduring it pretty well, honestly. They're getting their damage in there, and now the Dryads are pushing in. Skaven don't really have like Doom players or anything that can really do super well here. And the Archers screening out the Rat Ogres, which are one of the soft counters against these infantry. And now we see a play coming in as the Wolf Rats of Hobo Honkers going to go for a dive. Now, if Smokey's paying attention, this is an easy counter. The Glade Riders should just charge them and kill them. It would take like 2 seconds. But obviously, there's a lot of micro going down, so he might miss it. No, he gets it pretty quick. That was a good response. Not the quickest, but still pretty damn good. The Dryads holding the point here. The Master Assassin going to be creeping in, as we do see a big points lead for the Wood Elves. 800 against 400, give or take. And there goes the Wolf Rats. Wolf Rats are one of the most flimsy Hound units. Their base leadership is 34, so you look at them funny and they're like, screw the shit, it sucks, Now, Doom players coming out, I believe. Do we see Doom players? Doom players are quite good against Wood Elves. They have high armor, really good against Dryads, War Dancers, okay against Eternal Guard with support, but they do manage to get a good rundown right there. As Melkoth being used on Rat Ogres. I don't know how worth it that is. I don't know. It's usually better against like higher model count units, but it does apply as slow, so that gives you some utility there. So the Archers moving back up after the Wolf Rats have been dealt with, and the Vermintide is being activated. So the Vermintide going to be popped right here, trying to do a little bit of screening. Plague Priest moving forward. Dryad's going to be hustling back to the point. And now this is I used to play a lot of Skaven, not these days. I owe you guys a Skaven SFT. But regardless, Skaven do get these power spikes in the early game when all their ammo is shooting. But when you run out, it can feel real funny when your Zales and your artillery runs out of ammo and the opponent's still standing there with even value. We'll see if that ends up being the case here. The Doom player is going to get some nice momentum. The Elven Archer is still pretty good on ammunition. And you can see these Ogres are really getting peppered up here. They're taking an absolute pounding. So yeah, you got 3 Glade Guard just firing away right here, right into your face. Those Ogres at -10 leadership right now. Glade Rider's going to tar pit them, and the Doom player, I think, is the main sustainable piece here. Catapults, a little bit of ammo left, and they are able to break one of the Glade Guard here. Back on the middle of the battlefield, we do see the War Dancers getting in, fighting valiantly, and actually doing very good damage against the Master Assassin. Moving in, or Glade Riders trying to screen in, and the last of the ammunition on the Jezzails is going to be used. So what the Skaven player needs to do when he runs out of ammo is unsummon those units to send them back to the pool and get a partial refund if they still have some decent health, which is always good. Nice catapult fire right there, man. Very, very good stuff. But look at this, the Master Assassin, Master of Splinter here, not having a good time. And you guys know he's going to be in the thumbnail. He's coming. Wavering for leadership. The War Dancers really buttering his bread, but the War Dancers themselves, still stable. Wood Elves are one of the higher leadership factions in the game in my experience. Like, even their core Eternal Guard have, like, base 75 or 80 leadership, which when you compare that to, like, Empire is, like, 60 or on State Troopers or something, 55, right, for a lot of lower factions. Doom Bolt there, not bad. Able to break, not break, but do some good damage against the Clan Rats, and it maybe will lead to a break. We'll have to see. Wood Elves being pressed here, though, pretty hard. The Doom Flare from Hobo Honkers getting into the backfield, and we do see the Ogres getting on top of these Archers. So the Wood Elf line here is starting to falter a little bit. They're going to need some heavy hitters, like some Wild Riders, to come out and clean this up, man. Because, yeah, Ogres and Flayers all up in your face. That is not a fun time for the hard wood. So 1,000 points coming in here. This is a really razor-close game, honestly. I think as it currently stands, the Wood Elves will win on just 1 point, but it's incredibly close. And if the Skaven flip an objective for even a second, that lead will diminish. And the Catapult running out of ammo now, having gotten about 900 value. Not bad. You know, it's around what it costs. So that's a decent little trade there. This one about 800 as well. And Ogres and Globadiers are now being called in. Now, will the Hardwood stabilize its own objective? If they don't, then in the Skaven get it, and then they're pretty much going to be out of danger very, very soon in terms of getting that. But if the Wood Elves just recapture it, which it looks like they might, yeah, Wild Hunters of Kurnus, excellent choice here by Smokey. I love it. And seeing the War Dancers come in too is going to be quite brilliant, because the Wild Riders will fold up all these units basically, and the War Dancers will take care of any of the infantry. All right, so we'll check that in a second. Back in the middle, how are we looking? Skaven getting a little bit of Skaven Tide action, as we do see a Clan Rat up there and some Rat Ogres. Very, very good back and forth battle between these two gentlemen. Even value here. And here comes the Wild Hunters of Kurnus getting an excellent charge. And remember, they are anti-large and also armor piercing, so they counter Doom Players and Ogres all in one. So those Ogres get folded up pretty bad, and the War Dancers do get run over by Flayers, which certainly was not on their bingo card for the day. A couple of these Archers do stabilize back here, so it looks like two of them are going to be perpetually shooting, as we see a Doom Bolt activated on what appears to be a Doom Player unit. Yep, does break it. The other Doom Player gets folded up pretty damn quick, but the Skaven, during all that, are able to rat the middle. It's a very good scrappy rat play. Both sides have had some really good exchanges. It's been super fun. This is definitely one of the better games we've had in a while. All right, so Eshin Triads with concealment bombs popping out of the trees, Ogres penetrating in, and nice bombardment from the last of the ammunition on those catapults. Now that one actually still a lot of ammo. Damn, son, that is quite a bit. So what are the Skaven going to do here? They are reinforcing their objective, calling in some Clan Rats. War Dancers could surge forward, and honestly they should. The War Dancers should just go, oh, never mind, those are Teeth Breakers. Well, forget everything else. You guys wanted some machine guns, so here you go. So Rats wielding machine guns. This is the future, man. You know, when we cause our own apocalypse, the Skaven will rise from the sewers and evolve IRL. It's going to be great. So, Teeth Breaker is moving, and unfortunately mismicroed here. So, blue balled, ultimately. Hobo Honkers, though, will realize that, but the War Dancers have already gotten in, and they will start ripping apart these Teeth Breakers. Granted, there are some reinforcements coming in, Addy Booba Sharpshooters, and maybe those Teeth Breakers can be salvaged. We're going to have to see. So Wild Riders trying their best to peel this, but a very good idea here, because Wood Elves in the late game typically spam mostly cav units, so mixing in Clan Rat Spheres to your mid-game rotation is a brilliant play. Wild Hunters of Kurnus going to be still getting a good shock charge running back as the Spellweaver and the Archers trying to wear them down. A nice retreat right there, trying to isolate those Ogres. And the War Dancers putting in a ton of heavy lifting. They are able to rip apart these Rattling Gunners and now are in combat with Clan Rats, but they are going to be meeting the end of the road here, as the Jezzails do line up on the hill and get some good counter shooting, certainly softening them up. Now, as it currently stands, the Skaven will, not Skaven, but Wood Elves will win on just one. They're far enough ahead. So Hobo, if he's going to win this game, is going to have to do it, most likely at the last second as things are currently looking. But the Skaven pressure is good. I mean, they're winning on a couple of fronts here. We do see them getting a good pushback here, and with Jezzail Overwatch Fire pushing them off that back objective, and the Rattling Gunners being stabilized. That's quite big. Granted, they are in danger of maybe losing the middle. There is a Plague Priest chilling there, and the Skaven pocket of pressure here is really, really running out of steam as the Ogres are getting pushed back, and the Wild Hunters of Kurnus do get a nice charge in there, and that is going to be some serious suffering. All right, so Archer's coming up now. What Smokey should do at this point is he should move his Glade Guard into melee. Not into melee, but move them up towards the objective. The classic Warhammer 2 tactics, using a Clan Rat interference screen, and the Plague Priest, he summons some Clan Rats, and he's like, I'm done, I did my job, I'm out of here. And the Master Assassin returns. It is his grand return here. Archers unleashing on the Skaven. Capture weight coming in for the Rats, and the Teeth Breakers getting a nice volley right there. Not a lot of Skaven cap weight, though, and the Dryads should be able to mitigate that, although, I don't know, with that unit of Clan Rats arriving, he's going to capture it pretty quickly. So I think Skaven may have a chance of getting this. It's going to be very, very tight. As we look back over to the other side of the battlefield, these Skaven are holding on to this one. The Wood Elves trying to get through the Dryads, and the Wild Hunters of Kurnus doing an excellent job breaking multiple units. But the Chad Death Globes or Poison Wing Globes? Okay, so those Globes going to be really good against the Elite Cav. And you can see they get in there and melt the Wild Hunters of Kurnus. Man, that was clutch. And that was honestly really, really big. And the Skaven do get the cap back here too. All right, so Skaven with a couple big plays, and the fact that they capture that objective, pretty freaking massive, because as it stands, the Wood Elves are triple capped, and the Skaven are closing that gap. He's really going to have to capture his home objective back here real soon, if he wants a chance. Or just capture one of these two objectives. Hard to say, but look at the Globadiers, man. Beautiful damage right there. Really able to melt down those Dryads, and now we get clan rats and more rats coming in. Just basically rats of all shapes and sizes. And it does look like the Skaven are going to be holding that point. Back towards Objective Dose. How's it looking? We do see Objective 2 here. And are the Wood Elves going to be able to get it back before it becomes a situation where they can't win on just one? They are definitely getting that pressure on. We do see the Glade Riders moving, and the Glade Guard being sent into melee. Obviously not ideal for them, but you got to do what you got to do. And they are going to be getting that objective back. Okay. This is so freaking close. So right now, Skaven do get the point, or Wood Elves, excuse me, and now they are going to be counting those victory tickets very, very closely, ladies and gentlemen. But the Skaven have a lot of cap weight coming in. The Wolf Rats, the Ogres, as well as the Clan Rats, all those bad boys are going to be hustling, and we're going to see if the Hardwood is going to be able to hold. Glade Riders moving up, and Glade Riders are, getting some really nice routes here. If they can get those Globadiers offline, that's quite massive, but it looks like they do get on top of the Globadiers with Wolf Rats there as well. But honestly, the Wolf Rats might actually just lose that fight too. Spellweaver getting in, but eating a fat globe to the face, and the Wolf Rats over here do get hammered by the countercharge on Smokey, so very, very nice stuff. Capture weight, though, does favor Skaven with the two Wolf Rats. Wolf Rats are not a good staying power piece. Smokey needs to get those Glade Guard up on the objective to make sure his opponent can't get any momentum on that if he can. And dude, this is so incredibly tight. Man, oh man, but it does look like... it's going to be a situation where the Skaven need to get this. So Glade Riders are shooting right here, getting shot here by the Machine Gun Rats, Teethbreakers. They didn't hear no bell, and they do some nice damage, but it's not going to be long for them as the Elven Cav think about charging in, but then they're like, you guys ain't worth it. And they're going to be actually rushing to intercept the Ogres, although probably taking down those Teethbreakers would be a very, very good call indeed. Oh man, this is going to be close. Did I do the math correctly? I think I did. I'm pretty sure that Smokey wins on just that back objective if the Skaven don't get it, but he's really running out of time, and right now... Hobo's just going to have to send everything he has at that back objective. Just basically get your whole army and drag it towards objective 2 and see if you can do it. The Wood Elf capture weight isn't amazing here. Clan Rats coming in, Wolf Rats fighting up at the point, and we do see, so right now it is a narrow victory for Smokey if he can hold this. Jazales from the back, I don't hate that, man. Going to be very good at knocking off some of these assets. Wolf Rats coming in, Master Assassin, Master Splinter. I think a misplay. I think he did not have Master Splinter throwing his ammunition for a lot of the game. Yeah, only 122 value. I think he has him on controlled fire. Oh, but look at that. The Wood Elf Lord getting blasted in the face. Oh, man, that's a lot of cap weight. Skaven moving in. Jazale shooting where they can. And we do see Clan Rats coming in. Skaven definitely going to have the capture weight here to start shifting this objective. But War Dancer's coming. But Master Splinter is here. Teethbreaker's still there as well. Oh, my God. Is this actually going to flip? This is so close. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and a victory for the Wood Elves by 2 seconds. Jeez Louise. That was such a close game. So good. It had like a very prolonged skirmish phase, followed up by diving and heavy combat, and then a very climactic ending too. Man, what a match. So yeah, I'm a big fan of like OG Skaven artillery. It's very fun, but they did kind of get taken out by some of the magic and the arrows of Kurnus, of course. But yeah, GG, well played, guys. GG, well played. Doom players came in, did some really good work. I mean, honestly, that was a game that's so close that like one minor adjustment just changes everything, right? It's like if the time traveler moves a pebble, right? It changes all of the future. But it was basically like that in a game. But yeah, looking at value, nothing like did crazy value on the archers. Pretty much like against Skaven, you're not going to get like a massive like, wow, that guy got 4K value, because there's nothing really big to farm down there. But Wild Hunters of Kurnus clutched it pretty hard. Even though their value wasn't insane, them pushing the Skaven off that back objective and countering the Doom players, chef's kiss. All right, guys, see you around. Well played to Hobo and Smokey, and that is going to be it for today. Cheers.